Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Ma. This is for Data 625 9041 Data Analytics for Professor Beam Carey for Fall 2025 for the University of Maryland Global Campus. Today, we're going to look at types of health insurance costs from 1997 to 2016 and where it's trending towards. As health insurance is an absolute necessity for routine checkups to emergencies, does public health insurance still have value to beat private health insurance? Or is it better to just pay out of pocket when I only need to see the dentist once in a while or go see the emergency room? Another aspect to consider is, does it change my behavior on seeing the provider and what I get seen for? Maybe should I see the provider more often, especially specialty care, if I had a high cost private health insurance? As you look at figure one, the pie chart, this gives us an overall encompass of what people majority of the time see. As you can see, 30% people have seen ambulatory care, which is your walk-ins, and for typical walk-in visits at a clinic, while inpatient care is your prolonged care. Typically, that's for your typically your chronic diseases. So we move on to the figure two, which is your um, group chart showing what kind of care you see during someone's lifetime. As you can see, uh, under 29 and younger, people see the dentist more often. But as we go older, it starts to trend downwards in terms of how often we see the dentist. But during that time, nursing care sharply increases. In doing so, it also increases the cost of what we pay for. So this graph is a great way to represent um, not only the cost of everything um, bundled together, as well as what we typically spend during our lifetime. So let's move on to trends. In figure three, and figure four and figure five, I represent it in three lines. The top line is going to represent the highest cost average. In the middle, average mean of the cost, and the lowest one is your lowest cost average. Right. So we're starting off figure three with private health insurance. As you can see, uh, private health insurance trends forecasted for 5 years. That it shows a steady increase. Uh, it begs the questions whether if there was any change in benefits or losing benefits when on private health insurance. As we move to figure four on the bottom, right here, you can see that it has been trending, uh, also trending increasing. But as you can see, it's more steadily, more consistently going up, more in a linear pathway. Another thing to note is that both private and public health insurance are relatively the same cost and forecasted outwards. As you can see here, around $1,100 on the upper threshold, same up here. And as of the lower threshold, around $600. That gives us an indication that maybe the benefits are not increasing, but only the costs are increasing. Maybe there's change in policies. That's things that someone has to investigate, or a data team needs to collect more information in order to give the audience or even me a better analysis of what's going on. Lastly, we're looking at out-of-pocket cost. As you can see on the trends on towards right before the forecast, it's sharply increased greatly over there. And then it shows that indication for the high end, it's going upward slightly. While on the lower end, it's bowing downwards, going down. That could be the indication that there is government programs that are covering a majority of the cost, or a lot of services are being covered already, while certain things like emergency visits, that's people who are not insured, costs are going higher. That's more things that I need to investigate, and more data needs to be collected to understand. Last thing I would like to add is cost per type. So I added this chart, the stack chart, just to show that each type of care that we receive typically shows what insurance people typically pay for. And as you can see, that dental care people pay the higher cost premium insurance, the private insurance, while for emergency is typically seeing public health insurance to cover the cost. Okay. Thank you for listening.